Rigby's Roads, Chapter 14, Excited Monkeys. Jack pulled into Henry's driveway. Marge was sweeping the sidewalk. "Hi, Marge. Is Henry around?" "You just missed him. He went to the store for a laser beam." Jack laughed out loud, and Marge interrupted with, "Really? He wants one of those handheld laser beams that shoots that tiny red beam of light hundreds of feet. He saw it on TV last night, and that's all he's talked about since. He should be back in about a half hour." "Marge, I have a small problem, and I need your help. Do you have a few minutes?" "Sure. Let's go sit on the porch. I'm going to have some iced tea. Want some?" "Yeah, that'll be nice." While Marge was inside getting the drinks, Jack bounced back and forth as to what exactly he was going to tell her. It would be easier to convince Henry about why he needed to go to Sturgis than it would be to convince Marge. But would the truth send up a red flag for Marge? Maybe I should tell a little of the truth and not a total lie, just not the entire truth. "Here you go." She handed Jack his iced tea. "Thanks. So what's your small problem?" "Well, I'm not sure how to say this, and I'm not sure how much I can tell you, and if I did tell you, you would have to promise never to repeat it to anybody, and if you knew the whole story, you might not let Henry go, but then again, if you knew everything, you might insist he goes." Stop, she cut him off. "Are you going to tell me, or drive me nuts with riddles? The point is, I need Henry to go to Sturgis with me next week." She raised her hand with her finger circling, indicating she needed the rest of the story. "Because?" His mind went into overdrive. "Because 100 becauses were fighting their way to his lips, with each one pushing the other aside, wanting to be the next one to escape his mouth. Well, I know you and the kids are going to visit your mom next week, and you did ask me to keep an eye on Henry during that time, and the truth is, I have a work assignment for the government that forces me to go to South Dakota, and I need Henry to balance out the research I'm doing because—" "Stop," Marge interrupted, and then continued in the most sarcastic tone ever recorded. "You are going to Sturgis, South Dakota, during the motorcycle rally, and you need Henry to help you complete a government assignment. Did I get that right?" He couldn't look her in the eye. He felt like his mom had caught him in a lie. He took a deep breath and restated, "Marge, I'm going to Sturgis with a group of regular business acquaintances who ride motorcycles. We will be going up as a group, all organized, nice people. One is a policeman, and 2 of them are doctors, so Henry will be safe from all angles. Please let him go. It'll be the opportunity of a lifetime. I promise I'll never let him out of my sight. Please." On one hand, she didn't like the idea of Henry going to Sturgis, but on the other hand, it scared her more to leave Henry home alone with no one to keep an eye on him. Marge smiled and questioned him. "A policeman and 2 doctors?" "Yes." With her arms folded and her right foot tensely tapping the floor, she looked at Jack. "Okay, but I'm holding you personally responsible for his safety. I don't want to hear he was in a fight with the Hells Angels or some dog bit him. You need to constantly watch him and bring him back safe. Promise?" "Yes, Marge. Thank you. This means more to me than you can imagine." Jack went back to his house and called Wheels to tell him the good news about Henry going. Everything was set for the trip, but he needed more details. Wheels was leaving Tuesday with 2 trailers full of custom bikes and a staff of 8 employees. Wheels mentioned that each year since 1979, the year after he bought into the business, he made the journey to Sturgis a business trip. The first few years, he took a few bikes on the back of an open trailer to sell them. Later, as the business grew, it became a large enclosed trailer, and now it was 2 full-size trailers, 26 custom motorcycles, and a large overhead tent to shade the display. Wheels stated, "Be at the dealership Tuesday morning before 8 o'clock. We've got about 30 chapter riders riding up with us." "Do I need a tent or what?" "I don't know. Some of the other folks will be camping, but not us. We used to camp out in the early days, but now we stay in a hotel. I'm already counting on you and Henry sharing a room." "What do I owe you for the room?" "Are you kidding? This is a business write-off.
All you gotta do is sell one custom bike in 10 days to break even. Last year, we sold 14.
You bring up 26 motorcycles and only sell 14?
Figure it out, Jack. 14 customs at an average of 36 G's each. That's pushing $500,000.
$500,000? Damn, I had no idea.
Well, this year's goal is to sell 15, and I've got other business to attend to. I'm curious, what did you say to Henry to get him to go?
Nothing yet to Henry, but I told his wife that I wanted to take him, and she's fine with it as long as I keep an eye on him.
Oh, why do you have to keep an eye on him?
That's a long story. I'll tell you later. What kind of clothes should I bring?
Good question. It can be as hot as 100 degrees and as cold as 49 and raining, both on the same day. So be prepared for both. To help you not overpack, a good rule to follow is to take as much as you can pack into your motorcycle bag and not a pair of socks more.
But I can't fit my stuff and Henry's stuff into one bag.
Don't worry about that. You can throw your bags in the back of one of the trailers the night before. We always keep some extra space for employees' luggage and extra things.
Later that afternoon, Jack rode his motorcycle around the block to Henry's. Henry came out and he had the biggest smile on his face, like a kid going to space camp. He was wearing a hat that said, "Stop the violins, visualize world peace." Henry shouted to Jack, "Hello, Sturgis!" I see Marge already told you. You need some quick lessons first. We're going for a ride. Put on some long pants. Henry changed, and when he came out, his family came out with him. Marge had her camera, and the kids were jumping up and down like excited monkeys at the zoo. Jack got serious and used his presentation voice. Okay, before we go, there are a few simple rules we need to go over. Jack started his speech about the exhaust being hot, and the whole family lined up as if they were going for a ride or there was going to be a test afterwards. When Jack was done with the rules, he helped Henry strap the helmet on, started the bike, and nodded for Henry to get on. Henry grabbed the sides of Jack's body right above the hips and clenched his t-shirt, forming makeshift handles. The kids continued to jump up and down and were screaming in delight. Marge continued to take pictures. Jack instructed Henry, "Put your arms around my waist and you'll feel more comfortable during the ride." They started out up on Highway 72 to the peak-to-peak highway. Jack had to stop early in the ride to re-emphasize to Henry the importance of leaning with him in the turns. A few minutes later, he stopped again because Henry was leaning before the turns, anticipating what was coming up. It was playing havoc with Jack's ability to control a smooth ride. It was something he was unaccustomed to. Henry would ask questions, and Jack couldn't hear what he was asking, so Henry kept shouting the questions louder and louder into the face shield of his own helmet. After a while, things settled down, and Henry started to enjoy the ride for the ride itself. Jack sensed that Henry had reached the rider's high. It was the same feeling as a runner's high, when everything seems like you're in a zone and you are just passing through, as if you were a spectator of a glorious experience without much effort. Riding the motorcycle was similar to that Zen-like experience. End chapter 14.